Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in as we bring you some of the outstanding firearms in our December 8th, 9th, and 10th Premier Firearms Auction. Our first in our Bedford, Texas location. It is absolutely outstanding selection. We'll show you just one collection, one genre that just exemplifies it. We have items from the Tom Selleck collection, the Norman Blanc, the Greg Lamp, and today highlights from the George Lewis collection. Now you might remember we had the first part of the George Lewis collection in our previous auction, our previous Premier auction, and today is the second part, just again highlighting the depth of this outstanding collection. First time was kind of like an early part of the video or early part of Mr. Lewis's collection. Early Colt Derringers, open tops, Colt New Lines especially, beautiful guns. And today we're going to start off with some of those as well, some of the small pocket pieces that he has, extraordinary in every way. And then moving in to some of the larger or standard size Colts that he has in his collection. And whether they're small, whether they're standard size, they are all absolute giants of Colt collecting. Let's get started to my right with the finest known case pair of Colt Thur Derringers. Period. We don't like to use the word mint, but those are near mint. These are 99% guns all day, easy. The nickel is outstanding. Outstanding. And let's go through that. So besides, when we say the finest known, high conditioned pairs of these are rare in of themselves. You know, these are small self-defense pistols. These are carried in pockets, purses, jacket pockets, vest pockets, etc. And they're going to see use. Like, these are tools, everyday tools, especially carried in urban environments. That was the primary market, small self-defense pistols. And so they get used and they get put away, and that's just fine. But to see a pair like this in this condition, that's rare. To see it cased is rare. To see it factory engraved is also rare. To know that they're consecutively serial numbered is also rare. So when we call it the finest known, all those things put together, that pair says it all. Moving from the finest known Thur Derringers, the third models, to just a gorgeous Colt New Line. And I saw this and I wanted to feature it to you because it speaks to me. I love the look. This gold and case hardened look, absolutely eye-catching. It's in, as you can see, the pipe case. We had a pipe case also in the last video. This one just plays perfectly to the tones in the case coloring. You have these rich blues. I'm going to take it out so you can see the back side of the case as well. Very rich. And this rich, almost purples, and it's drawing those out. We also have these plum and maroon shades on the outside that are bringing some of those out in the case hardening. Absolutely outstanding. That's just the case hardening. Then we have gold-plated barrel and cylinder as well, and wonderfully engraved. Now, last time we showed you a couple New Lines that were in the Great Wheel, the Colt Wheel, the Centennial Exposition, 1876 in Philadelphia. This one, every bit they're equal, not serialized. So it's not going to be on that Folsom ledger. Very unique that it's not serialized as well, but clearly exhibition engraved, clearly exhibition finishes as well. The Niter Blue pops, the case carding I don't think I've talked enough about, and the engraving. Again, in the last video we talked about almost this Art Nouveau style that you can see almost before its time, and here we see it again, especially on the right side of the receiver. These very distinct, again, almost Art Nouveau scrolls in there and in the acanthus, and also the economy of space. It allows the engraver, whoever they were, to just take up every bit of spare inch that they possibly can. That's a lot harder to do when you're using perfectly round scroll work, but with these and the angles, they can really tuck it into every corner of the frame. Just an absolute stunning gun, and it's in 41 rimfire, so it's got enough bang to be an able deterrent as well. There's just nothing I don't like about this Colt New Line. And now we're going to take a look at a few of the more standard size arms from Mr. Lewis collection. So first glimpse at some of these, step away from the Derringers, the New Lines, etc. And there's some rock stars on the table, ladies and gentlemen, plain and simple. And we start off with this beautiful 1851 Navy. Now, a lot of us in the collecting world already know that they're not called 1851 Navies because they were involved in a contract for the U.S. Navy. It's more of a size and caliber designation, also an homage to the Ormsby cylinder scene, which depicts a naval battle. However, that said, there are, of course, some Colt 1851 Navies that were contracted to the U.S. Navy, and this is one of them. They are appropriately known as Navy Navies, and this is the finest 1851 Navy known to exist. It is absolutely remarkable. Pick it up right away, and I mean, its condition is apparent when you still have case coloring on here on the frame. The grips are beautiful, things are tight, and as you're looking at the grips too, you notice it's an iron backstrap or an iron grip frame, so very distinct. Also unusual for the Navy. You'd think brass to resist corrosion from salt water. The iron frames were requested, so an unusual request, but it's still there. 1851, absolutely remarkable condition. If that weren't enough, it comes with an original holster. It comes with an original cartridge box, both Navy marked, out of this world. So do you think the condition in 1858 in a rare example is enough? Not for Lewis collection. So to find these, most of them, when you do find, have been converted. It's a Richards Mason cartridge conversion. So you see, the cylinders modified for the 38 calibers. This obviously, so if you find one of those, you're doing pretty good. If you find one that's unconverted, still in percussion configuration, you're doing even better. Once you find it unconverted and in this condition and with some of these original accessories, you know why this has been featured in a video and why Mr. Lewis's collection is so impressive. Now, speaking of high condition Colts, our next one is absolutely in that vein. Beautiful model 1895 double action, and very appropriate transition going from a Navy to what Colt called the New Navy for the model 1895. So this is again part of that Colt double action series. Starts at the model 1889, 92, 94, 95, 1901, 1903 of military double action revolvers with a swing out cylinder. This is absolutely beautiful. This is a 97% gun all day long. Now, as you can surmise from the box, it's a 95, it's a New Navy, not a military issue. We don't have these Navy markings down here on the butt, and of course they're not providing boxes to military contract revolvers. So we have the commercial version of it here, and it is absolutely beautiful. When I saw it on the table, I knew I had to feature it. It looks like it's new. And it represents just an incredible opportunity. So as you may recall from an earlier video we made on the 1903 double actions, you know that I think that these are really underappreciated as far as Colt double actions, Colt revolvers, military revolvers. Here's an opportunity to get a 97% Colt double action with a box. And I'll show you the inside of the box too. Like, everything about this is high condition set. And this isn't the most expensive gun in Mr. Lewis's collection. That's not why I picked it. I picked it because of the condition and how underappreciated these things are. And when you put this in your collection, people aren't going to be able to compete with this. There's not many guns in the planet that are going to compete with a New Navy 95 that looks like this. Absolutely outstanding. I promised we'd look at the box. Let's take a look at that. Oh, I'm still looking at the Niter blue hammer on that. Nice crisp picture. We can look at the label here, bright, vibrant blue, 6-inch barrel, of course, 38 caliber on that side. And when we open it, I love this. The ideal label inside, bright yellow, clear as day, fantastic position. Oh, by the way, it comes with the original hang tag and the oil tag and some tools. So all this condition, 120 years old this year, and it still looks like this. Absolutely phenomenal. Next on the table, last and certainly not least, kind of a juggernaut. I think it looks like Colt Single Action Army. It's actually Colt Frontier 6-shooter, so chambered in 4440, 4 3/4 inch barrel, case hardened blue, beautiful gun. We're gonna talk about the condition in a second, but first I want to talk about how fresh to market it is. Now this Colt comes with a factory letter addressed Mr. Lewis, and it's dated July 1st, 1969. And that's just when he had it lettered. That's not necessarily when he started owning it. So this is the first time that this gun has been publicly available since before Woodstock, since the Nixon administration. That's over 50 years. That's what I'd call pretty fresh to market. Second, let's talk about how beautiful this gun is. 90% rich original Colt blue. I love this barrel length, by the way. That and the case hardening. Case hardening still fantastic, especially on the hammer, recoil, shield. Checkered hard rubber grips, checkering still fantastic, nothing worn there. Hard to tell about much wear on the back strap as well. This is just beautifully preserved. Boy, and that, talk about some vibrant case color on the back of that hammer. Just fantastic. Niter blue singing. And it was shipped to Chicago in 1894. So coming up on 130 years old, and it looks like this. And I love the fact that it was shipped to Chicago as well, a common sort of stopping place for Colts before they're distributed further west. So great length, great gun, high condition gun, absolutely beautiful. And it too comes with a picture box. It's a pretty big deal for a Frontier 6-shooter manufactured in 1894. So you can see our front a bit faded, picture box still there, and much like our 1895 bright blue label, again 4 3/4 barrel, rubber grips, blued finish, 44 caliber, and look at that ideal label in there, even bright, this bright, wonderful lemony yellow, easy to read, no tears. Oh, and by the way, it comes with its bore brush, it comes with its cleaning tool, it comes with other accessories. Just a Frontier 6-shooter to beat the band. Ladies and gentlemen, I almost don't know what to show you in the videos for our December Premier Firearms Auction. Everywhere you turn in our facility, when you're walking around our production floor as we're building this catalog and this auction for you, everywhere you turn is another extraordinary item that is absolutely worthy of our time to make a video and to show you, and it just so impressive. And that's why we can't encourage you enough to come to the December 8th through 10th Premier Firearms Auction. It's going to be the largest firearms auction Texas has ever seen. It's going to be the largest catalog that we've ever produced. It's going to be our first auction in our Bedford, Texas facility, and quite possibly the largest in Rock Island Auction Company history. That's the 8th, 9th, 10th. Full day preview on the 7th. It is open and free to the public. We would love to see you there. We can't encourage you enough to see just these 5 guns, let alone the thousands of others that are going to be there. Again, it's going to be an extraordinary event. We can't wait to see you there. And until next time, keep your powder dry.